Today I'm presenting code that explains the programming concept of arrays and tracing code. The purpose of this code is to alter the red and green components of all the pixels in an array using a while loop, and to be able to trace the code so that we understand the computer's order of execution of that code. So when tracing code, the computer always starts at the main method. So here, public static void main. This main means that the computer will start at this line of code and it will execute from there. So after this line, we see an open curly brace, and this is basically the command block of our method. So we're first going to have the string class declare a file name as our name, and we do that by writing file chooser.pickAFile. This allows us to go in and choose a file that we want to attach to this file name. We then declare a picture object in the picture class as the new picture, and that's going to be what we set as the file name up here. So whatever file we've chosen will now be our new picture. We're then going to explore the object so we have an image that we can view and look at the pixels. Next line of code says picture object change pick components with the parameter of 200. So this means that the computer is now going to go and look for a method with the same name as change pick components, which we have down here. So here is the method header for that method, public void change pick components with our parameter, which we now know is int new green. So it's an integer, and the name is going to be new green. And this method, it states, is going to decrease the red components of all pixels in the picture by 75% and pass in a new value for the green component using a while loop. And the parameter is going to set the new green component value in all the pixels. So running through this method, we see that we have some variables declared here. The pixel with the bracket brace pixel array is basically stating that there's a variable called pixel array that references an array of pixel objects, and it's set to this.getPixels, which means that which is a method that returns a one-dimensional array of pixel objects, which are the pixels in the current picture object. Next, we have pixel equals null. We need something to represent the current pixel object, so we declare a variable pixel of type pixel by stating pixel, and then we set it to null because we want to start with a variable that refers to nothing. We then need a variable to hold the current red and green values, and so we're going to declare those int red value and green value, and we're going to initialize those to 0. We're next going to declare a variable to be an index into the array, and the value that changes in the loop will be called int index, and we're going to set that to 0 because array elements are indexed starting with 0 and they end at the length of the array -1. So then the code goes down to this loop here, which will execute as long as the index is less than the pixel array length. So in the loop, it's going to first get the current pixel based on the index value. It is then going to get the current red and green values of that pixel. We'll then decrease the red value by 75% and set the new value. Does that by multiplying the new red value times 0.75 to decrease it, and then multiplying it by an integer, by int because it's an integer number. And then we'll set that value here, pixel.setRed, to this new value. Next, we'll set the new blue value just by passing in the parameter. So we'll write pixel.setGreen to the new value. We then increment the index by 1 so that it can go back and check in the while loop and make sure we're still executing within it. Once the index is equal to 1 less than the pixel array length, we'll exit the while loop. So let's say we've exited the while loop. We'll then go back up to this final line. We'll go back up to what this method wanted us to do, which it says the parameter is set to 200. It will execute that line, and then the final line will be to explore this new object again. So we're going to run this. We'll pick a file that we want to run this method on, and we will see the effect of our method here. Both the Explorer images are set to, initially the first pixel is 0, 0. You can see the X and the Y components on both, and we can compare the red values. Here the red is 196, and here the value is 147, so we can see that it has decreased by 75%. And then we can see that here the green value is set to 1, and here the green value is set to 200, demonstrating that our method was executed correctly.